Hello, hello, yet again. Oh, animation says let's go starting soon. Yeah, sorry. I am kind of like testing this new thing. By the way, if I am too silent, then do say so. I do have this fancy knob, which I guess I could use to turn up the volume. I think whenever I check out the VODs, I am a little bit silent. It might be the microphone being too far away, or maybe just the settings. Anyway, I am kind of like testing the thing where I basically try to make like an announcement for the stream, and then I basically try to start it a few minutes before it turns to, basically being a little bit of a waiting time and of a waiting room. It's never ideal, but sadly it is how it is. We'll see how that goes. Mm. But yeah, here we are again. Um, as a quick reminder, yesterday I have basically reinstalled the whole system again just to try the Arch install, which kinda sucked. And I did that reinstallation because I did a bit of a fucky-wacky with BTRFS snapshots. So before I purge the system even further, because it is basically a basic candidate for once more a reinstallation, I will boot into it once again because I wanted to check two things. One of them would be whether I have a swap partition configured, because I kinda almost pretty much in the way I was able to, I tried to tell the Arch install that I do not want any swap. And I do not have any swap. Perfect. And after that, I wanted to try out the BTRFS snapshots. The BTRFS snapshots group hook. Oh, I need to make this. This is becoming a bit weird, but sure. This thing again. I actually modified my FSTab to use part UUIDs. Yes, you should pretty much always use UUIDs. Instead of the mnemonical names, the defsda or the def whatever, those can change. And they can change pretty randomly. I think I had an explanation as to why that can happen on a server at work. I don't really have an explanation why that can happen on a single CPU consumer grade motherboard desktop PC. So what was the other thing? Oh yeah, the grub BTRFS. So grub BTRFS improves the grub bootloader by by adding BTRFS snapshot submenu, allowing the user to boot into snapshots. Grub BTRFS supports manual snap. Oh, that's interesting, as well as snapper timesheet yap snap created snapshots. Warning: booting read-only snapshots can be tricky. Yeah, this is kind of what happened yesterday. I changed the default snapshot, and the snapshot I booted into was read-only, and pretty much almost everything broke. If you wish to use read-only snapshots, var must be on a separate subvolume, otherwise make sure snapshots are writable. See this ticket for more info. Oh, interesting. It's not in our. It's been incorporated into the mainline package system. As always. Oh my, it's almost like the firmwares are getting an update every day now. Neko-san, hello. I wanted to ask about switching to Arch Linux from Windows. Since I use After Effects and other Adobe apps, I could use them by VM, and the games you already know, I already have experience with Arch. Uh, I'm not sure using After Effects or Adobe apps in a VM would be a pleasurable and responsive experience. I would say that if you use Adobe, you just might either stick to dual boot or just stick to Windows and use WSL for Windows to basically boot Linux apps inside of Windows. But that's just my opinion. Animations. Honestly, when I was installing Arch, by the way, I used GenFS tab for UIDs, but today I used part. Oh, sorry. I confused UUIDs with part UUIDs. Part UIDs stick even after reformatting of the part. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. Though I don't necessarily can think of a use case for that, but maybe. Okay, I'm installing grub btrfs and we will do a control reboot because I can see that some things have been modified, mainly the kernel ones. I think I need to invest in not really a capture card, but in a kind of like a fancier capture card, which also has like an output for. No, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. But whenever you get a call from your father, you basically always pick up the phone. Okay, let's boot into everything as it is. I know that this small grab menu may be an issue whenever I want to showcase anything to you, but trust me, I am seeing exactly the same thing you are seeing now. Like basically my monitor I have in front, because here is my Mac, here is my monitor, I am basically seeing the stream preview, so it's as hard for me as it is for you. Do I even want to boot into Plasma? I guess I can. Quick switcheroo. Neko-san, oh, thanks for telling me. I think I could do a dual boot after I get a bit more money for another SSD. I asked AI, though it didn't really give me what I wanted. I mean, AI has this thing going where it can answer some questions. It definitely cannot, almost I want to say, reliably answer other types of problems. I did come across some interesting problems at work recently where, basically it's becoming a default thing for people to go to AI to ask for help. Sadly, the issues we come across in our line of work very rarely have an actual AI solution because it's just that those problems were not encountered before, pretty much by nobody. Animation. You could use Windows parts for dual booting, but I could recommend a separate SD. I would also recommend. I would also say that the easiest way to dual boot with Windows is to just have another drive. That way, basically, those systems can coexist alongside of one another and have full authority over pretty much everything, and do not come in or crossways. Windows has its own drive with its own GPT partition table, recovery table, whatever, and Linux has its own. Okay, so it's time to take a snapshot, because this was advertised that it pretty much just detects snapshots. So ArcWiki, BTRFS, snapshots. BTRFS, yes, blah blah blah. By the way, we do have like this BTRFS sub volume list. This layout basically provided to us by Archinstall. So we do have like home log and package. To be honest, I have no idea what's log and what's package. I assume that's like var. Yeah, var log and var cache pacman pkg. I wish those were full paths. If I maybe do a show instead of list. No, it doesn't do that. Huh. Neko-san, I already tried dual boot on only one disk, although I ended up formatting all of my disks with flash disks for the Arch installation Lemal, so that was an experience. Yeah, this is something everybody has to do at least once in their lifetimes. Okay, I want to see how to take a snapshot. Okay, BTRFS volume snapshot source name. So let's go BTRFS snapshot. Let's go with root. And we will name it as, I don't know, test snap. Oh, BTRFS subvolume snapshot. BTRFS subvolume snapshot source and test snap. Neko-san, it was fun though. Installing Arch was really much fun instead of Windows, so I don't mind the part. Yeah, I mean, as long as you take away some new knowledge from that, then, you know, the time was not wasted. Okay, so we do have the snapshot. So now it would be cool if we could verify that the snapshot, if we revert back to it, actually works. So first of all, okay, but by the way, we are in the home directory. Does a snapshot of a root volume also snapshot the subvolumes underneath it or not? So that will be the fun case to check. Touch file 1 in home, which is supposedly in the home subvolume. Now we will switch to root. We will touch root file 2. And finally, we can install some package that was not installed previously. What could we install? Is Vim already installed? It is. Nano is installed. Not many things come to mind, to be honest. Oh, that would be actually also a good thing to check. We can install some Flatpaks. Yesterday we were playing some games, so we can try and install Space Cadet and some package. Oh, Pacman S and CDU. Perfect. So we have Space Cadet. Wonder if it even launches. It is really tiny, but okay. I wonder if it's like re-implemented from scratch, or is this actually a port of the original Space Cadet from Windows? Animations. I swear for some reason, even if I wasn't using system deboot, it kept trying to make EFI loader random seed. I ended up making dummy field that's called loader in EFI, which made systemd sad. I mean, it actually, from what I've read, it uses that file to increase entropy right as the system boots, because typically the problem is whenever you are starting a computer, it doesn't really have enough entropy for for the random libraries to actually generate actually random numbers. So I don't really know why would you want to disable that. To be honest, because low entropy is often a case of systems actually waiting with some tasks to actually perform them. Okay, we have made a snapshot and we have my system didn't break. My EFI part is my EFI part. I mean, system deboot does a lot of things that basically make it as compatible as possible. So it does create many EFI binaries within on your EFI partition, just because some motherboard manufacturers implement the UEFI differently. And one case of that is, for example, most often on some older laptops, the UEFI they have, their implementation only looks for the capital EFI boot x64.efi, and they don't really care for any other files. They only want that one specific file name. So that's why very often you can come across some binaries being named like that. That's because some older UEFI implementations look specifically for that file and that file only, even if they have different EFI entries inserted into them via, for example, EFI boot manager. So system deboot basically does many things in order to make sure you are as safe as possible and you can boot from pretty much anything. Okay, so we have snapshot, we have some stuff installed. Let's check out the grub menu. Oh my, it seems like the cam link is especially finicky today. I don't remember that I had to do this even for rebooting. Maybe it's a grub's fault. Okay, and maybe I will switch to full screen because this will be a really small font. So we have, and I hope it will not like double detect my enter. We have Archlinux, advanced options for Archlinux, and UEFI firmware settings. No shit. So I don't know why that happened, but I did know it was happening previous time also. It basically instantly chooses the first option, and right now I even didn't press enter. I only pressed like right arrow. Do you use Hyperland or Sway for UI? On my work laptop, I use Sway mostly because Sway has had historically compatible keybinds with i3, which I used before, and Hyperland does none of that. So I found it hard to even try and switch. And Seeing how Hyperland does all of the fancy schmancy UI, I also figured that on my work laptop, where most of the time I want it just to be able to perform work, and most often with as long battery life as possible, I figured that Hyperland may use my battery more, so I just stuck to Sway. Okay, we will try that again, but I don't think I saw many boot options, to be honest. So I can copy my unified kernel image to EFI but bootx64.efi. Exactly, yes. This is what I recommend in my secure Archlinux guide. Because this is basically a compatibility thing, and instead of explaining that this is a problem, yada yada yada, depends on implementation, it's just way easier to have it like that. Okay, let's go once again with full screen. Press enter, E to edit C4 command line. Okay, so either we'll have to be very quick or this will happen again. I don't know why it auto choose the first thing in advanced options, or maybe it's having that quick of a wait time. I mean, let's try googling that. I think this camlink thing happens because the resolution is changing. Grab, increase menu wait time. etc default group, yes, that would be logical. Did you increase the group timeout? No, but I thought that the group timeout doesn't really, as soon as you break that first timeout with that first screen, I imagine that there is no timeout for the second screen when you enter the advanced options. Timeout 5. Let's go with 30. You can modify and setting it to 18 seconds. I mean, the problem really isn't, I think the timeout, because it has 5 seconds, but I can sit on that first screen as long as I want to. As soon as I enter advanced options, it chooses the first thing and ignores everything else. Hidden timeout. Oh, it's maybe just the timeout clocking down being displayed. So you can change the defaults. You can force grab menu to show and set the grab menu timeout. Make your changes. Grab distributor arch. Set to countdown or hidden to change timeout behavior. Press escape key to display menu. Uncomment to use basic console. Uncomment to disable graphical terminal. Resolution auto. Disable if you want grab to pass Linux kernel the old parameter format instead of. Oh, interesting. Uncomment to disable generation of recovery mode menu entries. Just smile. Nice work. Thanks. And welcome to the stream, by the way. Oh shit, actually. This is weird. I am pretty sure I have configured the stream overlay to pop up the subscriber notifications whenever somebody subscribes. But I have never tested that, and to be honest, I haven't really seen it work. I guess I could fix it right now. But maybe just let's just finish this this grub. Colors, normal, path, background, theme, to get a beep. I don't think I have a beeper on my motherboard. Remember last selection. Disable submenus. Would that mean that everything will be laid on the first menu, on the first screen? Ubuntu Kulan main. Sorry. What's up, bro? Hey, everything is fine. We are just spending yet another evening at Archlinux. I already subscribed, so I think the notifications doesn't work. Do you stream using capture card? Yeah, I think the notifications don't work. I think I'll try to fix that in a second. Do you stream using capture card? Yes. I am using Elgato 4K capture card. But to be honest, I'm really seriously thinking about getting the better. Because this is basically a USB thumb stick, which basically only has HDMI input and USB output. The problem is I don't really have like duplicated output I could pass to my monitor, which causes me all sorts of grief. So I think I might splurge and just buy the better capture card. They are pretty expensive, but it actually pays to use some proper capture card like Elgato, for example, because I've tried some cheap Chinese ones and they kind of broke whenever anything was over full HD 30 FPS. What are you even working on, lol? Anything broken? Kinda. I've tried using Arch install yesterday, and as I think you were there yesterday, it basically gave me a broken system. But I am still using it to try out some things, mainly the grub BTRFS hooks. It's just that grub is being retarded at the moment. So do I have to regenerate grub config? Probably yes. Oh, found snapshot. So maybe now it will see it. So meanwhile, let's go to stream elements and let me observe my dashboard, my overlay. I do wish I had my old alert saved. Okay, let me first get you a working screen. Okay, before we proceed, give me a quick second to try and fix the stream overlay, because I would really like it to work, to be honest. Alert box and this. Okay, so I didn't have it here. Maybe here. No. Because I remember that I had this one specific GIF that I used for the alert. Oh yes, now I remember I am using multiple overlays. Which means that I need to add this to more than one overlay, but first I need to get that GIF, which means I need to log on to my ages old Dropbox, which is pretty much 10 years old at this point. So give me a quick second. It's so old that in my Authenticator app, Dropbox is basically the first entry. Dropbox, yeah. Back in the day, it was the first thing that kinda worked like that. I need to go into my stuff folder and my saved reaction images and memes. Those are not safe for public streaming, sadly. So please sort it to me, not... Dropbox kind of... I mean, it sucks. But as my long-term storage of my very old things... Okay, sort by GIFs. Oh, here it is. So quick switch back to stream elements and alert. And Jesus Christ, it's so... Okay, and I think I will test that in a second. For now, I will just set this as a default for everything. Okay, and I think let's try emulating. Okay, I wonder if it will show up here. Okay, it cleared the chat, so it reloaded. So I guess it should be fine for this view. But now I also need to change this on this view. So one more second. Add alerts, alert box, subscriber alert, set image, submit. And the rest for now can stay as is. Okay, once again, it cleared everything. So I guess now notification alerts should work. So if you are not subscribed, here's your chance to subscribe and confirm that it either works or doesn't. I'm not sure whether unsubscribing and then subscribing again will work. Okay, so here is our grab screen. And once, sadly, I have to switch to a view that doesn't have the overlay. So it means that the subscriptions will not work as soon as I switch to that screen. But here it goes. So Archlinux advanced option UEFI Archlinux snapshots. Great, there is a dedicated sub menu for this. And oh, okay. And it has that snapshot. So let's boot into it. And we'll see how it goes. Oh, what's that? Oh, No, it gives me an option to choose initramfs of that snapshot. So either fallback or the one that we were using. So let's go with the one that we were using. Uh, that message said that it's not configured to be read-write. So it's basically the same problem I came across yesterday. Touch test works. Touch test also works. What the hell is going on? We basically need to verify everything works. Let's see how grab BTRFS does its thing. I mean, it kinda does at least the snapshots. I don't really want to say detection, but maybe it basically has some really good post-hook scripts. I mean, no, sorry, it doesn't really have post-hook scripts. I would have, because it only detected a snapshot when I run grab mkconfig. Okay, so I created some files previously. File 1, but that's our home subvolume. Test 2 is something I created just now, so it doesn't have file 2. But we also have done two other things. So I installed the NCDU. Command not found, great. And discover games. Spaceball Pinball Cadet is not installed. That means it works kinda well. And sadly, this brings me to a conclusion where I think in the end I will have to recommend people going with grub, just because that grub BTRFS kinda just works. I do need to make sure that that hook that actually does this thing auto fires or something like that, so you don't have to make it manually, or even if you have to make it manually, how to make it properly. But aside from that, it kinda works. Pac-Man as NCDU. Neko-san, oh, Demon Slayer Infinity Castle trailer is out, lore 5 hours ago, rip. To be honest, I have not seen a single episode. Oh no, maybe I've seen like an episode of 2 of Demon Slayer. I mean, it didn't really get me, to be honest. I really much enjoyed more the Kaiju no Go, Kaiju number 8. Okay, so we kinda have confirmed those things to be working. So now it's time to reinstall everything, not using Arch install, but just using... I would want to say common sense, but no common sense here. Basically my own notes. And I have done that the first time I installed the system on stream, which I was like battling, but now we'll use that again. So say goodbye to this installation of Archlinux. To be honest, I also wanted to check out maybe Ubuntu. How well does it fare against the 5070 Ti drivers? And I would say that Ubuntu would be a much easier and better system to recommend for people that just want to play games. but that has to be tested. Bye Archlinux. Hi Archlinux. Install Medium. I have to say all that talking really makes my throat kinda dry. Not as much as whenever I'm giving a lecture at uni, but still. I kind of understand what you mean. I watched 2 years ago 12 episodes or around that, and 3 months ago I started to watch it, maybe giving it another try. Maybe. I kind of have a trouble, keeping up with my anime backlog. I really have. At this point, for the past 10 years, maybe not 10, maybe 8, I've seen like maybe 5 shows in total. It's not like I don't want to watch them. It's just that I find it really hard to find a proper time frame to actually do it and to find them available. Like it's really weird. For the amount of anime I've watched during my high school years, the numbers have significantly dropped. And I really have to, if I watch any series, like at least in one sitting, they have to be pretty much at least amazing. Or maybe I'm rewatching something good, but then I have basically a second monitor content. Are you gonna follow your secure Arch guide? Yes, with some small modifications. It basically is, at least for me, a really good, at least outline of how to install the Arch and what to do, and not to forget some steps. So LSB, okay. I think because I was, right now I'm actually about anime again. I am actually rewatching again a show, Yahari or an Osation. My youthfulness is not a love-com comedy or something like that. I mean, really, I think my anime backlog that I need to catch up on is like stretches back to 2012. I still haven't watched Mirai Nikki, The Future Diary. Blah blah blah. I think it's NVMe 2 and 1. So let's verify that hypothesis. Mount dev NVMe 2 and 1 key1 at MNT. Yep, it seems that this is it. So unmount MNT and YPFS dev NVMe 2 and 1 FA NVMe 2 and 1. Perfect. Time for me right now is pretty hard as well, although now I got 2 months of free time. I'm just spending my time relaxing, trying to get better with my mental health. Yeah. Always take care of yourself. And what better way to do that than to watch copious and sick amounts of anime? Okay, so let me switch back to. By the way, I won't really be displaying the browser window I have with the notes. If you want to check those out, I think you can find them on my GitHub. That will get you just more depressed. Depends on the anime. Okay, yeah, first is disk partitioning. Gdisk. Dev NVMe 2 and 1. New first partition. Okay, plus I will give it 2 gigabytes. Or maybe not. 1 gig. 1 gig will be enough. And the partition code is EF00. And the next partition will be full. And the code will be default. This is not LUKS encrypted. Print. Write. And now I am wondering whether I should split everything into sub-volumes with BTRFS as I did before. I might check out the ArchWiki BTRFS again. To create a BTRFS file system on partition, the BTRFS default, blah, 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 blah. Multi-device, no, no, no. Profiles, no, no, no. Copy on right. You should wear your headphones a bit more back because then it will create a hole in your head. I mean, you know, the funny thing is, those during my all of the streams, they don't play a thing. First of all, I'm not listening to music because otherwise I could not concentrate to speak English. And I have like no audio from, you know, this fucking CLI. So basically I'm spending every stream with just the headphones on just because I find it easier when everything is, whenever I speak, when the voice is a bit tuned down due to the headphones. Because whenever I could like be just like this, but then I get this weird feeling that I'm talking to myself within an empty room. It gets kind of weird. But now that I've just took them off, maybe it's a good opportunity to basically train myself and actually try to do the things this way. Okay, creating a sub-volume. To create a sub-volume, the BTRFS file system must be mounted. Okay, so first I have to format everything anyway. Now let's be okay. By the way, I think that, that reminded me of a YouTube comment where I think I did the first video with my face in it. And I think the comment was that I didn't expect the boldiness and the you didn't hear the boldiness and the glasses through voice only videos. I think that was the comment. It was the greatest comment I've ever received. Guys, the parse needs to be formatted. Boys, get in here. We're formatting the drives. This will be BTRFS. Yes, it does destroy it. MKFS and for EFI FAT 32 dev. One second, let's be okay. MKFS FAT 32 dev NVMe 2 and 1 P1. Perfect. So now, to create a subvolume, BTRFS file system must be mounted. The subvolume name is set using the last argument. So, should I create a I'm not really sure, should I create a subvolume before shooting into the file system or after? I think I will do that before pack install, before pack strapping. So first, mount def nvme 2 and 1 p2 /mnt and mkdir mnt boot EFI. And now mount dev nvme 2 and 1 p1 mnt boot EFI. Oh, perfect. Oh, that's what you mean. That's pretty normal. Now, maybe just buying earplugs, although that would make you just deaf. I do have like AirPods, but still, like, I don't really like the in-canal things. Okay, this is done. We are not doing LVM, we are not doing crypt setup, blah, blah, blah. So typically at this point we would start pack strapping, but now we will try BTRFS sub volume. Oh, so MKD MNT home and MKD MNT var. Gang, let's start sub volume. Everyone get in here. So BTRFS sub volume. Yay! The notifications work, and thank you for the sub. Shimmer Pickles. Pretty good username. Sub. Oh may. I will not be a typing master. Sub volume. Create. MNT home. Oh, exists. Okay, great. So RMF FM, MNT home, and MNT var. Var. So gang, let's start subvoluming. It's time to duel. Imagine Yu-Gi-Oh, but they are just IT admins and programmers. Okay. So now let's try and backstrap our system. And by the way, I wonder if I still have to do this weird Pac-Man init stuff, but it doesn't, I think. How doesn't like mess up anything if I just do it anyway. Populate Pac-Man key init. Yeah, so now pack strap MNT base Linux firmware. Oh yeah, that package is still alright. AMD ucode sudo vim mk init cpio instead of dracat, just because. If we have that, shit, I always forget if it's grab or grab2. Or grab, or maybe is grab just a meta package for grab2? I mean, I will try to go with. I mean, you sure it's not something like that? Well, I mean, we can try it. I mean, at this stage, we can easily install and uninstall things. So grab network manager bin utils. It may be included in some previous packages, but whatever. EFI boot manager. Anything else? Maybe Git. I think that will be enough for now. I mean, I think technically I could also install like some NVIDIA drivers just in case. just in case somebody has a weird system where he won't get any output without NVIDIA drivers, but let the thing rip. I mean, do you remember Beyblade? Let it rip. Oh, I think it's Debian. On Debian is GRU BFI. I think GRU BFI. Now you have given me something to ponder about. Siergiej Stopany. I'm not sure if I'm reading this right. BTRFS progs. BTRFS progs is already... oh yes! Damn, you are actually right. You are actually very, very right. You don't realize how right you are. Pipewire, we will take care of audio later on. Are you a Bitcoin bro? I have some Bitcoins back from the day. I used to mine Monacoin when it came out. Sadly, I have none at the moment. I dare you to make you to root partition ext too. No, sorry, I would like my file system journaled. Okay, so now, I mean, BTRFS procs is a tremendous addition. So we quickly let's do mnt at etc fstab. And now we can arch root into /mnt and actually pacman s. Oh yeah, sorry, pacman s btrfs procs. I mean, last time I want to say I started pulling my hair out, but there aren't many left. I kind of like was debugging why the hell the MKNet CPO was having such a trouble building kernel image and was throwing me errors. It turned out that I haven't installed BTRFS procs, which means somehow it managed to build a system image. It managed to boot system image without the BTRFS procs. I have no idea how it has done that, but it worked, which is super, super weird. I also, typically I perform just an installation of man, just to verify everything is kind of okay. Jesus Christ, there's like 16 people watching. Why are you watching some random bald guy, some one-punch Archlinux man install a distro on a Saturday evening? Are you crazy? Batman, which display manager you will be using? I think I will once again go with KDE Plasma. I think like compared to GNOME, it's I don't want to say best. It's basically like it has many things working out of the box and with sane assumptions, I would say. It's fun. I'm learning new things. I would write fstab myself. Jeez, guys. I know I would like to teach some people things, but come on. Try ML4W Hyperland. I think I've mentioned this. Hyperland doesn't have keybinds compatible with i3 or Sway, and I am just 5 years deep into i3 and Sway, so it's just the finger memory that is not compatible. He's probably going with KDE Plasma. Yep, and it looks good by default. Good tools. I would agree. It has KDE has some sane pre-installed tools. Okay, so we have we have this. So now let's set root password. And now the most boring part. So ln sf usr share zone info and etc local time. Arch is supposed to be manual. I mean, if it has a decent installer, then why not? By the way, what is ML4W? ML4W. Is it like a... I don't even want to suggest. Oh, ML4W hyperland dot files are dot files. So this is like... So this is like a pre-configuration of a hyperland environment, something like that. Some, I would say, like I was saying before, if I'm using this phrase, I may use it further. Is it like a sane pre-configured pre-configuration? By the way, it's one other thing is funny. The time zone I'm setting right now, it's way easier to to set it like this instead of using those ncurses menus where basically I am forced to scroll for pages and pages. It's my Linux for work. I think it's Hyperland. I think I know that channel. It has the most bizarre name because I haven't met a single sysadmin using Hyperland, which means that I mean maybe I'm just talking to admins and not software developers, but I would say no sysadmin would use Hyperland. I don't know why. I just haven't seen them using this stuff. Okay. We won't be syncing the hardware clock. By the way, date. Is that right? It is right. It's a pre-config of Hyperland. Oh. I mean, kinda doesn't it defeat the purpose of configuring for yourself? I mean, I know Sway when booted like on no configuration at all looks as if it were broken, but it does require some configuration and additional packages, but still. I use DWM because it's suckless, Vim etc local gen. So I will be using... do I go with the path of least resistance? I might as well. America, fuck yeah. Local gen. And Vim etc v console. This will bite me in the ass because, to be honest, I am not 100% sure, and this is kind of like on the internet poorly described. What are my possibilities and options in vConsole? Because I can say this right now, this will result in a very, very tiny font if it boots into my 4K display, or maybe like my 4K capture card. What other font possibilities do I have? Because basically the 16 is a size here, but that doesn't mean I can just go with 32 because that font just simply does not exist. So what other font which supports 8859-2, which is basically ISO font map, or it's also compatible with Windows, I think, whatever. Quick Google. Or maybe ChatGPT. I can't show you that because that requires me to log on, but... Terminus includes other sizes, but I would have to install the Terminus font. Select TTI. Suggest me. Oh, interesting. How to list. Oh, shit. Okay, that is I mean, we'll see how accurate ChatGPT is. ls usr share kbd console fonts. So far, so good. 8859-2 wildcard. No such fun. Okay, and if I'll do it because let's okay. So there are some fonts here. Grep 8859-2. There are none, interestingly enough. So Pacman S Terminus font. Still nothing. I use the Ter M18B font. You know, the problem is that, I mean, this is not really a problem, but I am Polish. And Polish keyboard is pretty, I mean, well compatible with typical, with typical keyboard. It's basically a typical keyboard. Like, it's not like French or anything that it would have. By the way, this is not a mechanical keyboard. Yep, I am not using that stuff. It's pretty compatible, but we do have some specific Polish things, some few Polish letters. So can I on L G S N O, which means basically those things. I dual boot Arch with Win11. Does Arch does not boot sometimes properly, so I have to update the sys in TTF. Do you know any fix? It seems like you may have a problem with a bootloader. If it's on a separate drive, you may need to fiddle around with BIOS setting. Maybe your UEFI is reverting to another default boot option, but still. Czechia here, witaj. Hey! I want to say Pepiki, but it's not because that's one of the only things here. I have to say that I have been replaying the first Kingdom Come, and I basically waited for that game to actually have a proper Czech original dubbing. It's like with The Witcher. The Witcher is the best if you have the original Polish dubbing. And I thought the same is the same case is with the Kingdom Come. In the first game, the dubbing is weird. I would say it's like an afterthought, but I hope that in the second game it will be a proper, a first and foremost the Czech dub, because I really like when it's like if it's made by the locals in that settings and that historical period where it was supposedly Czech. I would love to hear it with actual Czech in my headphones. I use group bootloader. To be honest, debugging this is kind of hard. So I guess that, the most I can say is refer to ArchWiki, or maybe try and switch to systemd boot. And I think that all of the required stuff will be, described on the ArchWiki. If you want just to try and have a working system, I think you can install systemd boot and don't really worry about grub at all. It should just work if you want to be safe. Grub is bloat. I wouldn't say bloat. I would say it's just outdated at this point. To be honest, we do not need bootloaders at all. Can we extend encrypted logs drives without formatting? I mean, if you do that on top of an LVM, I mean, that's a good question. I don't really know whether you can. I think it's possible. Because you would basically extend either a partition itself or an LVM, and then you could maybe basically tell logs. I mean, to be honest, I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe. Although your accent is pretty good for Polish, like, what the hell, it's really good, Lamo, thanks. I really try. So, Okay, so there's this thing. Oh my god, I need to finish this installation, but this is a story that I kind of want to tell. There is a science conference in the States where I basically have been attending for the past 4 years, and I am also a member of a team that's building a network for that conference. It's basically world's fastest temporary network, and I've been going then for for past 4 years. I hope I'll be going for the fifth now. I kind of made friends, yada yada yada, stuff like that, and I always try to surprise them, and I thought that I would try and speak like typical Russian in American movies. It turns out it's so hard to speak with an accent like that. The Arnold one, like, I don't know if I'll be even able to do it. Like, hello, comrades. I mean, even that is not. It's not it. The typical Russian Rusky in American movies. It's so hard to actually try and speak like that and learn that. It's been my second year trying to learn that. It's so hard. I would say you can always extend this stuff. That depends whether Lux actually supports it, because it will basically have to change some stuff. In the map, in the encryption and stuff like that. Basically when you give Lux a partition, it formats it in its own, in its own way. So maybe. Okay, so I have installed the Terminus font, but still no fonts that ChatGPT suggests should be here. I know LMAO Russian accents are funny, though Indian accent. Oh, Indian accent is supposedly easier. Like, if you just skip the D. No, if you pronounce T like a D. So instead of don't tell me what to do, you go don't tell me what to do. It's kind of sounding like that similarly, right? There is a script set to precise. I just go. Okay. I haven't tried that, but good that chat is helpful. Chat is helpful. That's interesting. This is the first time on this stream that chat is helpful. Okay, so we have lat2. Also never tried. I mean, Googling is a part, right? Nowadays, being able to perform a successful Google search is not as easy as it seems with all of the AI shit. Why is my phone lighting up? Oh yeah, my dryer has ended its drying cycle. Wait, you don't have a Discord server? I thought you had. I have one. Okay, you know what? Because this is a problem for the past. This has been a problem for the past few streams. I mean, there's not really much going on the Discord. Coming to the community side of things, I'm not really a good, I would say, community manager. And to be honest, I just don't really have time to, be like the person that's like on the Discord, always creating like activities and stuff like that. But I'm basically not very good at making sure the community is thriving. I have. Oh my, this sucks. 1 second here. I hope that the invite is now in the stream's description. And I hope that this link still works. This invite. The invite is basically under almost in any of my main channel videos. Google bad, Brave search engine. Brave search engine sucks. I mean, I kinda used Brave, even though it basically kind of hurt me because I did used to run, even though basically nobody was interested in it, a service called auxia.io, which basically was pulling the data from the Blizzard server for World of Warcraft and then compiling the stats for auction house metadata. So basically I've had like those nice graphs basically in Grafana, which told me which prices are worth what, and you could basically create your own. Nobody was interested basically into making their own dashboards and registering, so that went dead after a while. But basically Brave really didn't like my domain name. And whenever I first posted on Reddit, the Brave browser by default was like, Auxia.io, be careful before you enter. This might be a spam or, cheat site. It basically, whenever you try to enter my website from the Brave browser, it basically was all red with that big text telling you it's a scam. And I started digging as to why that is. It turns out Brave has a list of actually banned domains, or like, confirmed, I don't know, casino or whatever domains, or scam or whatever. And then it does, and this might be complicated, basically a Levenstein metric match. It basically is a metric that tells you how far certain words are apart from each other, right? So how similar are they? It does this metric, and if it's like 1 or 2, it from the known scam websites, it will give you this warning. So it basically knows it's not exactly that, but it thinks that it's like, a domain trying to register a similar sounding domain but different, and it's giving you that warning. The problem is, if you have like a short name domain, like Auxia was like 6 letters, it's not hard to basically always be caught into this metric telling that, okay, it's like 2 letters away from something that's actually scammy. So I basically had my own path. So basically, Brave killed my project, and then I started using Brave, and then I said, like, Brave tries to sell me some crypto coins constantly. So I was like, fuck you, Brave. And then finally I stopped using it because Brave, even though it's based on Chrome, has like way smaller response team. It's slower at adopting Google fixes. So I would say either use Chrome or Firefox. Don't go for the meme browsers. Should be wording the warning message differently. I mean, yeah, at least the warning message should not be a big red screen. I mean, the project was not sustainable. I like basically compiled the data from all of the realms on EU and US servers, which basically meant that I basically borrowed a server from work which had 128 gigs of RAM in order to facilitate the database index. Okay, you are right. Let's go back to installing Arch. So I will go because I installed the terminus fonts. Quick look back to the ChatGPT. What did ChatGPT say? Pum pum pum. Font ter 24n. Maybe try Zen browser. I'm using Zen for now. It's really good. Customization, understand, transform Firefox. The problem is not what engine it's using. The problem is if Google releases a fix, or if Firefox releases a critical fix, right, for a CVE, Firefox releases that, and the mainstream Firefox gets it first. The other browsers have to adopt. And if you are not like Edge or maybe, you know, some big player like Microsoft, you might not be getting that fixed beforehand behind the scenes. So it's a problem. Like, how big is your cybersecurity or threat group in your project, right? How quickly you react? You can just set the font. I mean, I want to make sure that I am. Oh, you mean the set font? Yeah, sure, true. To be honest, I am not using those commands every day, so I am basically not muscle memory familiar with them. Okay, host name. WinStation Arch. WinStation, because this is first and foremost Windows Station. Oh, by the way, I am not wearing those now, just because I do have to show you this. The truth is, the game has been rigged all along. Oh shit! Our stream almost got interrupted. Because throughout this whole time, how long have we been on? An hour and a half? My Mac has not been plugged into to the charger. So it almost went dead and it almost killed the stream. And it just showed me a warning. Sheesh. Oh, that's interesting. It seems that on YouTube chat, some things have auto-moderated, but I mean, I am still discovering some stuff even on YouTube, so we don't really talk about religion and politics, but weirdly, it has disappeared from the YouTube chat, but it will disappear on its own after we chat some more. What a save would have been over an instant. Yep. It's amazing that the Mag battery has basically endured for hour and a half, like streaming, encoding, transcoding, having connected tons of shit to it, stuff like that. Okay. Right, so hostname is set. User add mdc techie swdc. Okay. Add btrfs and mk. I think mknscpl by default has like file system modules, which covers all the possible file system it has support for. So I know what you're talking about, but that's not necessary. vsudo. Yes. User mod ag wheel. DC taki butterfs, butter my biscuit. I cannot pronounce it like that, to be honest. It's BTRFS. Exactly, in Polish I would say BTRFS. Systemctl enable network manager. This is so dumb that for network manager unit this has to be properly capitalized. No, you don't need that. There is a file system modules enabled by default which covers that. Why is this not populated at all? I hate to say it, but you might be right to some degree. I mean, last time this was pre-configured. Why it was pre-configured? Was it because I installed systemd ukify? No. The thing is, this can be done automatically. You don't necessarily have to do this by hand. Because pacman s, if we reinstall the Linux package with kernel, it still generates the system image. Yeah, building hooks. I don't know if you see it. Building hooks file systems. This is exactly what I've been talking about. So not module. Sorry, I meant not module, hooks. This. Hooks. This is the most important setting in this file. The hooks control the modules and scripts added to the image. So I wasn't necessarily wrong. I was going over this yesterday, so I'm fairly recent with that. So if you have some hooks added, then basically lots of stuff is being taken care of automatically. So if you're interested, give this a read, basically. Okay, we can skip the Dracut part and cat proc cmd line, but this is our Arch ISO install. I am not 100% sure how automatic it is. Once again, let me do this and read the output, and we can reboot, and if it boots fine, then it's okay. If it doesn't, then we can always go back to the root and continue. Building, missing firmware, that's not important. Possibly missing, generating, early. Interestingly, there also should be a message about missing a CMD line, but it's not here. Cat etc. For system SSD enable stream timer. Yep. That is also same thing to do. I don't think it's necessarily in this case because by default the FSStream timer launches once a week. And I don't think this system will last a week, to be honest. But we can do that, I agree. So let's verify some things before we reboot. LSboot has this, and EFI has nothing. So we also need to install grub. Grub is not yet installed. Echo root part. No. mkinit cpl didn't say anything about being mad about this not existing, so it has to pull the CMD line from somewhere. We will come to that. Don't worry. Grub install. Yeah. Grub install. Dev NVMe 2 and 1. Two and 1 P1. So do we have like an EFI binary? I know what it is. etc, not etc, boot EFI arch grub. Oh, okay. So now everything is installed. Grub is installed. Grub mkconfig boot grub cfg. Okay, warning has proper system on them will be added to boot configuration and menu info. Okay. So either I will be proven wrong or you will prove me wrong. Or either you'll prove me wrong or either I will either I will be proven wrong or you will be proven wrong. Let's see whether this will boot without setting any CMD line whatsoever. I'm just curious. I'm just curious. Arch, I think this is Polish accent starting to mess with your English accent. Yeah. I mean, I have no pronunciation faults, like not pronouncing R or stuff like that. Everything is fine there, but sometimes it's just weird. Arch. Okay. I need to switch for that and enter. Okay, we have the grab menu. Let me just go full screen for this. No, just kidding. But it kind of does pull that command line initial parameter from somewhere. So it created that initial, init ramfs and vmlinus, and it did get that command line from somewhere. I have a faint idea where, but I am not sure. So if we go and go to cat proc cmd line, it basically has a basic sane command line configure. I have no idea where is that getting from. Maybe mkinit cpio has some sane defaults configured, but it's just there. You don't really have to worry about it. Because if we go to etc kernel, there is nothing here. It's empty. And here also, it's only that empty directory. It did, if you have noticed, it did display some error messages, and I guess it was quite possibly about the vconsole stuff. But I think instead of wasting time on that, we will just pacman s plasma, and I will go with all the defaults. Maybe with the fonts. Is there anything coolly sound? TTF input nerd. I wanted to try input nerd. What the hell is that? And install. So basically our base system has been installed properly. And as you can see, you don't really need to fiddle around with much of the configuration files. It's mostly install and forget. I really want to install KDE as soon as possible, just because then I can launch a terminal emulator and increase font size with my mouse scroll wheel. I mean, really, for the next time, I should just wear those and don't tell you at all. Just so you know, I am a secret agent of Microsoft. I like the ASCII progress bars a lot. I will show you something amazing in a second. I think Grub handles that. I don't think so. Maybe. I think MK init CPIO is responsible for that because I did have a case on my previous streams where I was launching MK init CPIO to reinstall the kernel. Basically, I was reinstalling the Linux package, which forces the kernel reinstallation. And MK init CPIO can basically say, I have no command line configured. I am using the currently running command line found in proc/cmd line, and I specifically looked for that message here, and it wasn't there, so it had to be somewhere configured. Okay, we have that, but we also want another package, pacman s nvidia open dkms, and this is one of the most important and nvidia utils. Yes, please install. It's rebuilding the image. Perfect. Yeah, console font requested font not found, ter24n. So it's basically not being able to find that font. So do I have that Terminus font or not installed? So it is installed. It's reinstalling. So basically, ChatGPT suggested me a working package with non-existing options. Maybe quick, because I'm just curious about that. Set font. Does it have like a list? Option. Yeah, -D. Yep, that I know. You need Linux header. Yes, yes, exactly. That's something I completely forgot about. Yes. So maybe set font for now. Just it doesn't work because the font map. Blah blah blah. Pacman as Linux headers. You are so right. I completely forgot about that. Even though I think I have it in my Archlinux notes. If not, I will. I can and I will edit this repository right at this moment. But I do have to sign in, sheesh. I might just give myself a reminder. Base Devil. I don't think it's necessary. We will not be compiling anything. Okay. Once again, quick run of this again to make sure it actually can do everything. I think it has done everything fine, but let's do it again anyway, and then let's reboot. And I have to do the in the meanwhile, I will do a Google search of shame. I want to say, maybe not a shame. That's not necessarily a shame for me. That's more likely a shame for KDE, because Arch KDE Plasma. And I will be saying this right now. I will not be using any login manager because they kinda suck. Too far. To start Plasma on Wayland session from a console, run When I install meta package of GNOME, it comes with GDM and it basically has some sane login manager. But here, I mean, personally, I like that. Personally, I like that approach to just log in into TTI and then do anything and then choose whether you actually want to start a graphical environment. But if this is Archlinux for gamers that I'm trying to work on right now, because I'm not sure if you are aware, this will be later on compiled and recorded and be a Archlinux for gaming tutorial basically. But yeah, I would assume that, you know, some things work and are pre-configured sanely if you are using a meta package. Yeah, virtual control setup, that has to do with the font. So right now, vim kde plasma.sh bin bash usr lib plasma dbus dbus run session if needed usr bin start plasma wayland plasma. I think I haven't made any typos. chmod plus x ugh. kde. And I think that means, ladies and gentlemen, we have successfully not only installed Archlinux, we have also given it graphical environment. Skip. Okay, discover. Okay, whatever. Give me, because I know this is not installed. Give me first some working environment. Give me a web browser. And after that's done, you need base devil if you're going to build packages yourself or use an R. Not always. And also my advice is don't use R unless you either really know what you want to do or you actually at least give the R configuration packages a quick read. Is there Czech Polish language for Arch? I think there are like Polish locales. If you basically regenerate your locales, then you can have like at least you know, the terminal and everything. Like for example, man ls. If you would configure Polish locales, this would be in Polish or in Czech. The problem is if you start doing local languages and then you start googling for problems, very often the translation doesn't necessarily match, or either doesn't match or just doesn't give you many results. But now, one final check. And that means our GPU is properly detected, the drivers are working fine, and it's actually being utilized by Wayland and KD and Plasma and whatever else. And it has like basis for being used by games, etc. So all in all, this is pretty much almost done. There is one last thing to install. And to check, because we can still break the system, to be honest. I can still manage to break this system, as I pretty much did so yesterday. Sudo su btrfs sub volume show list. So we have home, var, and and root. How does that work? We will see. After almost 2 hours of doing find it. Yeah, I was kind of distracted. I was streaming, mom. Pacman S grub BTRFS. It almost rhymes. Yeah, I think I need to fix that font issue. Because that seems to be like it will give me those errors and I will not be able to fall asleep. So I will for now just go with the option I am, you know, familiar with and know that it works. So lat2 terminus 16. I don't really want to bore you with me googling for that, and let's reinstall everything. What time is it? Oh shit. It's 10:30 p.m. Time flies when you're having fun. So I think I will need to basically wrap this thing up soon because I still want to play either Factorio or play some games on a true Unix-like system, the FreeBSD, which if you don't know is PlayStation 5. Yep, everything seems to be fine. So first, grab mkconfig. Detected snapshots, no snapshots found. If you think error has occurred, please file a bug, blah, blah, blah. Done. So, probably nobody knew that. Yeah, I mean, it's a fairly common bit of trivia. I mean, PS4 was more based on FreeBSD. I think PS5 has kinda derailed from the mainstream FreeBSD more, but it's fairly based on the FreeBSD, mainly due to the copyright reasons, or should I say copyleft. Hooray! I no longer have to fuck around in the OBS to basically perform a whole reboot cycle. Fun fact: this only happens if I install Archlinux my way, like you just see me do on the stream. If I use Arch install or whatever, the boot process fucks around with my resolution, capture card, whatever, and I have to do the thing in the OBS, right? By the way, what's the screen resolution for now? It's full HD, but it could be 4K. Okay, it's let it stay full HD. Please stay full HD. It's better for me and for you. So now, let's try and make a snapshot, PTRFS snapshot. Snapshot of root, and we'll call it test snap. Subvolume snapshot. And now the whole ordeal once again quickly. So Nani? Oh, I know what has happened. How to remove a snapshot? Basically, I don't think we have our .snapshots directory configured in the root file system. BTRFS Archlinux. Thankfully, now we have a browser and you can browse the wonders of the internet alongside me. Firefox privacy notice, cool. BTRFS wiki sysadmin guide, but that's on the kernel.org. BTRFS sub volume snapshot help. BTRFS remove snapshot. I think this will have to do with just deleting the sub volume, but we'll see. Jesus, those pop-ups. BTRFS sub volume delete. Okay, so basically this BTRFS sub volume delete test snap. BTRFS create not snapshots. To create snapshots directory on a you need to create sub volume and then create snapshots within it. This is typically in the middle of other sub volumes. I wonder if it's true. We'll try that very quickly. Well, I'm going away. Thanks for the tips and stuff. Learned a lot here. Might as well come back again if you stream again. I stream very irregularly. But yeah, if you ever see me stream, come by and say hi. Thanks. Is it possible? I wonder if if it's enough, because AI said that I need to create a subvolume called subvolume. Fedora magazine. I remember this being a pretty good read. So BTRFS. Hey, Conrado. BTRFS subvolume list. So I think I need to create a subvolume for snapshots. So BTRFS subvolume help. BTRFS subvolume create. Maybe BTRFS create directory for snapshots. Subvolume create. I wonder if it like just basically auto detects. So first let's go to root BTRFS subvolume create snapshots. Is there like a dot at the end, or is it like not a part of the command? Okay, that's dumb. I think what I actually wanted to do was this. And now if I go to my root, I wonder if it will like auto detect. Why? Oh, it wants me to point there manually, but I want this to work automatically as it did work before. Why is no guide have the magical dot snapshots? Why is this not automatically created? I thought this was automatically created. I mean, those aren't the questions I think I will find answer inside of, but I mean, because they use Snap, but I haven't used Snapper previously, and I, I wonder whether it was auto-configured or not. I think it was. Maybe I just haven't. Maybe you're right. Maybe I just haven't checked. But I am pretty sure I have done that previously, and I did have seen that automatic snapshots directory. Damn, maybe you're right. Okay, maybe let's not maybe let's not dwell on this longer than we have to. I will just because the question is I'm not really sure whether I should create a subvolume or just a simple directory would work fine. That is the true question I'm looking answer to. Basically, whether this snap root has to be a subvolume in itself. mkdir fast. Okay, let's create a new directory in which to perform some experiments. Okay. Sudo subvolume create demo. Jesus, that's so many like things being done unnecessarily. The meme channel on the Discord is very funny, thanks. A lot of people sacrifice their memes in order to make it funny. Are owned by root. You must call chown to modify the files are owned by a regular user. Damn, that's a shitty tutorial. Oh. Okay, I mean, mkdir root snapshots. Oh, have I created that? Okay, so btrfs subvolume snapshot root, and we will tell it to test snap. Okay, that seems. Oh, okay. I think I get it. I think I know why it has to be actually a btrfs subvolume. So sorry, once again. Basically, it has to be a subvolume because otherwise the snapshots directory is also snapshotted if you do a full root file system snapshot. So btrfs subvolume create Mm. Oh, no, 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 delete. No, no, no. Mm. Was I wrong? Okay. And now grab mk config boot grab cfg. Detecting snapshots, no snapshots found. Gentoo Kali manual. Manual usage. To manually generate grab snapshots. Customization. etc default. etc default grab btrfs config. Then etc default grab config. Default false. Name appearing in the grab menu. Custom title. Limit snapshots. Okay. Sort the found subvolumes on generation path or root ID. Show snapshots found during grab mkconfig. Total snapshots. By default, automatically detects most existing kernels. If you have one or more custom, you can add them here. By default, detects an intramfs, microcodes, additional command line parameters that should be passed to kernel when booting a snapshot. For Dracut-based distros, this could only be useful to pass or this to the kernel for booting snapshots read-only. Comma separated mount options to be used when booting a snapshot. Then it can be defined here as well as in the root line inside the respective snapshots. Blah, blah, blah. Ignore specific. Ignore prefix path. So it seems like you need to set up BTRFS subvolumes according to some sort of, I don't want to say specification. I want to say standard, maybe, that is not described anywhere. It's like location of half of files. Archlinux BTRFS partitioning. Sorry, I'm of no help. Don't worry. I mean, that's, to be honest, my job to do here. And still so many people, still so many people watching me struggle. Like, don't you have better things to do? Like, play some games, go outside, install Linux in the park. compression. I need to read that, but later maybe. Subvolumes. By default, top level is mounted when mounting options allow to mount specific subvolume instead. You're a bad streamer. I am a terrible streamer. See the following links for more details. Specific subvolume instead. Don't tell people to not watch the stream, I mean. Yeah, I know. I am a terrible streamer at that. Listen, there are some things I will not ever do. I will never ever shill a VPN in a way that's misleading as to what VPNs actually do. Like that's one example that comes to mind. Everything else may be fair game. I may try to sell you some, I don't know, penis enhancement pills. But VPNs and telling you that it increases your security and reduces tracking, no, it does not work like that. Okay, so sadly, ArchWiki is of little help. Or maybe not. A modern updated installation guide for Archlinux. Interesting. Please show me your BTRFS parts. MKFS FAT, BTRFS. Create subvolumes. In my case, I chose to make a subvolume for root and one for home. Subvolumes are identified by prepending at. The list of subvolumes will be increased in a later release of this guide. Everyone, I think we need to format the Linux again. I messed up the BTRFS partitioning. I mean, it works, but it doesn't work well enough to the point where everything kinda, where other packages, it doesn't work in a way other packages expect it to work. Yikes. Everybody likes the lack of VPN ads, I think. Yeah, I mean, I haven't had any. To be honest, I mean, yeah, no, sorry. I did have some offers to basically promote some stuff. And to be honest, those were quite interesting offers. I just do realize that the channel is too small to actually provide any sort of value. I mean, I would be ashamed to take any sort of money for a video that quite possibly may end up having, I don't know, 3,000 views, but maybe also 300. I mean, but I did have like an offer from a company that supposedly, I haven't like vetted them thoroughly, and that was some time ago. The company that does like data recovery and data recovery software for LTO tapes, which I thought was quite interesting and unique. But yes, I think I need to read up on how you should properly name BTRFS snapshots. So I don't know. Jesus, those are some shitty gifts, to be honest, that are being suggested. I don't know. Kind of cringe. But, you know, basically this is the stream now. And I think this will be the closing note, because we are like hitting the We are hitting the 2 hour and 20 minutes mark, but at the same time, we now have a subject for tomorrow's stream, which is how to actually partition and format BTRFS subvolumes. Now I know what I will be doing yesterday. Tomorrow. You can hear me just basically tuning out. My brain is basically saying, no more Linux for today. But aside from that, everything just works. TM. I mean, I'm pretty sure that if we installed Linux, Steam, and just fired up some games, we would be able to just play. I'm just kind of bothered. I mean, you know what? To be thorough, just to be thorough. What a weird word. Let's install Steam. Let me log on to Steam and let me fire up the classical benchmark of Talos Principle, because this is the one of the most interesting benchmark I run. It gave me really weird results. Yep, yada yada yada. Okay. I hope you cannot hack me based on my Steam authentication QR code. Come on, come on, come on. Didn't completely finish the game. Talos Principle. It's very interesting lore-wise, like story-wise. I found it really interesting in that regard. So I am very, very curious as to play Talos Principle 2. But at the same time, there is a shit ton of games I do have to play. I have to replay Persona 4. And they also announced Persona 4 remake, which I will also have to play. I have to finish Persona 3D Answer. I have to finish ReFantasio. So many games, so little time. Yeah, I suppose with the stories stored on all the terminals. Oh shit, my friends and my Nick. On the terminals, I couldn't get into that deep. I mean, it's also weird because you can have different endings based on how you respond to the entity within the terminals. And I didn't get the best ending, because I think the best ending is that entity joins you. But there are many different like outcomes. Many, but that's like probably like, I don't know, 5 or something, maybe more. I don't remember. So let's put a bow on this stream. So good. I've actually managed to finish my like water quota for the afternoon. For example, it's been years, I will fire it up again. Go for it. For example, what? Oh, it did. Yep. Oh, for example, MKFS, BTRFS, Arch, Dev, Mount, MNT, CD. I mean, the problem is that I didn't know that there is a convention that, you know, expects you to name things with at sign for the subvolumes, which kinda threw me off, and I'm not really sure how does that work if I name a subvolume at home, but then I want the Arch installer, or basically the system, to basically use that as just /home. Do I have to make a symlink for that, or I need to basically, I would say, doctorize in it further. Okay, let's go for extras and benchmark. And let's give it full 16 seconds. And let's enjoy this full benchmark. Oh shit, it's not full screen, it's just full HD, so it's not 4K as I expected it to, so the numbers are a bit bigger. But at full HD, I think we are hitting the limits of the game engine, like 460 FPS. I mean, you'll come in handy tomorrow, Sergey, when we'll be doing this, because I think that average FPS 460 view log file for details, that's a pretty good result, and I think it confirms that the GPU is working fine. But sadly, as I think just blabbered my mouth when we were talking about FStream, that this system will not survive a whole week. This system will not survive a whole week. ZSTD. I don't want any compression. Because basically adding compression on encryption has minimal, but it can have an impact for performance. And if you are building a system for gaming, you don't want to miss out on that. I mean, you can also, if you could, I don't know, explain it further. Maybe you could always go to my Discord and maybe write a better formatted version of that there. But yeah, it's been 2 hours and a half. I think I will be wrapping up for today. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for experiencing this journey with me once again. And hopefully tomorrow, I'll probably try and post on socials if I'll be going live. We'll meet each other again, and we will install or maybe reinstall Archlinux again, and we will discover the wonders of BTRFS subvolume convention when it comes to naming the subvolumes. So once again, thank you all, and I hope I'll see you next time.